9-3 Notre Dame today versus the Oregon State Beavers. They're 8-4, and we're here at the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl in El Paso, Texas. See, I've got a jacket on. It's a little chilly here this morning, 40 degrees or so. Game time temperature is supposed to be about 51, 52, but a perfectly clear day. So the Sun Bowl, indeed, living up to its reputation. It's a perfectly sunny day. And about half a mile that way, I know this is great for video, I'm pointing at the Rio Grande River. That's where Mexico is. That's where we're located here today, about as far south and as far west as you can be in the state of Texas. And for Fighting Irish Preview, I need to identify myself for Fighting Irish Preview and fightingirishpreview.com. I'm Phil Hauk, and here are some of my thoughts just before kickoffs. Of course, the month of December has been all about opt-outs and the transfer portal. These teams here today that will play have combined for, depending on how you count them, somewhere around 30 players from Notre Dame and Oregon State combined will not be playing in this game, who played during the regular season. So who has the edge in that category? That obviously is going to have a big impact on the game today. Well, it's not the offenses, because the offenses on both of these teams have been impacted more than the defenses. Notre Dame, for example, of course, we know they're down a quarterback. They're down Audric Estime, Sam Hartman. They're down receivers. 3 or 4. Chris Tyree won't play. Tobias Merriweather, Rico Flores. Offensive line, Joe Alt, Blake Fisher, both tackles gone. But Oregon State has also got some losses. They're down their top 2 quarterbacks. They're down their top running back, who is an all-conference player. They're down 2 key receivers, their best tight end and their best receiving wide receiver. They also have some injuries on their offensive line. The offenses have been really hurt here by the transfer portal and by opt-outs. And so I say it's the Notre Dame defense that has been formidable all season long that's really going to be the key here today. Irish have 3 losses on that defense to the transfer portal or to opt-outs. Linebacker Maris Leofau, but Jack Kaiser, who is a great player for Notre Dame by all accounts, will step right into that position. Irish will still continue to be strong at Maris Leofau's position. The nickel position, that's a big loss. Thomas Harper had a great season. The 1-year transfer from Oklahoma State had a really good season. But you got some experience there in Clarence Lewis, who has been around for 4 or 5 years now, 3 or 4 years, and he's coming back for next season, and he can man that position today. Cam Hart at cornerback, that's a loss, clearly. He's going to the NFL. But you've got Jaden Mickey, you've got Christian Gray, especially the sensational freshman, who will man that position for the Irish. So Notre Dame's going to put a formidable defense on the field today. There's no doubt in my mind about that. It's also huge that Javonte Jean-Baptiste, the one-year transfer that the Irish got from Ohio State, had a terrific year on the defensive line. He opted in. He didn't opt out. He'll go to the NFL next year, but he's going to play. And, of course, J.D. Bertrand came back, the only captain to come back to play in this game. That's special, and he'll lead that Irish defense from the middle linebacker position. All these opt-outs would seem to indicate, obviously, a defensive struggle here today. And when you think about defensive struggles, what do you think about? You think about the punting game. I know, real exciting, the punting game. But let's talk about punters today. Notre Dame has a really good one in Bryce McPherson. He may be called upon quite a bit to operate today. He's got a 45-yard average with his punts, drops them inside the 20, lots of hang time. He's good. Oregon State, not so much. They will have a true freshman. They're punters in the transfer portal. So they have a true freshman punting for them today. His name is A.J. Windsor. The starter is transferred. Windsor has never punted in a college game. He will have his first collegiate punt here at the Sun Bowl today. So advantage Notre Dame in the punting game. That could be critical here today. Notre Dame and Oregon State have played just 2 times in the past, both times in bowls. And Notre Dame is 0-2 in those games, losing in the 2001 Fiesta Bowl That was kind of Bob Davies' swan song, as I recall. It was a big loss. I think it was 41-9 that year. And the 2004 Insight Bowl, they also lost that game. That was coached by Kent Baer. Who's Kent Baer? Well, he was the interim coach for the Irish that year. He was the defensive coordinator, moved in when Ty Willingham was let go at the end of his tenure for the Irish. So history says, with that 0-2 record that the Irish have against the Oregon State Beavers, history says that the Irish better beware. But I think my pick here today is that the Irish have just a little too much defense, and that's going to rule the day. So the Fighting Irish preview pick and the Fighting Irish preview.com pick today is Notre Dame 31, Oregon State 14. I think Steve Angeli ought to be able to get things going. As long as he gets protection, that offense is going to be just fine. Check us out at fightingirishpreview.com and subscribe and like to our YouTube channel. We're all over social media. Look us out. Send us a friend request, whatever media you're on, and you can check out all of our free content. I'm Phil Hauk, and for fightingirishpreview.com, those are my final thoughts, and I will talk to you after the game.